That's a little dramatic. Oh, so worried I'm gonna run out of fabric. This is all I've gotten off of it. That's a little dramatic. A little bit more has come off, but no other like big chunks like that. And I have worked on it a good amount of time. The problem is that they sewed this so that it would never be taken apart ever again. That was their intention in making this, for it to be indestructible and last forever exactly the way it is. There is this little plasticky bit that runs through every corner of this stitching, is stuck in there because of the little plastic bit. So then I have to carefully pull and take the stitches out and hope that it doesn't rip the lace. I kind of want to switch and start working on this. This is what I want to the bottom of my dress. And this looks like it's sewn in with much bigger stitches. Like it'll be easier to get out so I can actually see all of the individual stitches. And I feel like I need a win right now. Working on this is exhausting. The other thing I'm a little bit worried about is my skirt is just made up of the fabric that I made into a lining for my bodice and that outer sheer layer. I think this will be sturdy enough to hold up that lace. I don't know. I might just sew this onto here and then just see how it drapes. Let me do that quick. I only did a tiny little bit, like I only attached it up on this top part because I got scared. And I had the wrong presser foot on, but the right needle in there. So like you can see this spot here where I like went off of the lace. It does look like it holds it okay. It does get a little bit bunchy. I don't know, I feel like you can do it. I might even hand stitch it on, which would probably be smarter. I just hate hand stitching so much. I'm gonna work on seam ripping this off. I think there's also some beads and stuff on there that I'm gonna need to take off. Over the last week, I've gotten a lot done after work. I have gotten the lining to my bodice done. I've gotten this sheer outer layer done. I just have this straight stitched right now, and I might do a French seam. I'm just a little bit worried that once I get all the detail on, that it's going to want to rip out a little bit. I'm not sure what I should do about that, but I would rather catch it now than it be terrible later. But I also don't think that it would survive me taking these stitches out. The reason that I say this is the outer and this is the lining is because I'm going to do one more piece in the middle. This is really thin, like so thin that you can see the detail on the fabric of my ironing board through it. I, one, don't want to have to worry about my dress being see-through, and two, I don't think that this would be able to hold up the beading and the lace without getting super like warped if it doesn't have a little bit of structure. This is a piece that just ran along the middle of my mom's dress, and this scalloped lace is going to go at the bottom of my dress. So I've been working on taking it apart. That piece just disconnected from each other. That's good to know. I have been slowly, as I've been going, that some of the pieces aren't fully together anymore. So I have been sewing it back together. I just didn't realize I was too apart that it was going to fall off. So now it's disconnected. But this is going to be the bottom of my dress along the hem. But I think that I can use this fabric as the middle of my bodice, and this is strong enough and structured enough that it will be able to hold that detail. There is a little bit of staining on this from when my mom wore it. So I will have to eventually try to get that out. Not exactly sure how I'm going to do that yet. I also have been working on taking the lace off of my mom's bodice, and I've only really gotten like one flower off of this, but I did get all of the beading and sequins, and I did that outside, and the way that they glistened in the sunlight made me so excited to continue working on this project, even though I know I'm going to hate hand sewing all of that on. The other thing I need to do is to cut this edge to line up with this side edge here. Just make sure that the angles all match. To have this edge align with the edge of the back pattern piece. That pattern piece I'm not using, but I do want the edge of this to mimic the same. I also think I'm going to have to unstitch a little bit more in here so that I have a little more to attach to the skirt when I get to that. And then I also need to figure out how I'm going to attach the buttons. The last thing that I need to do is this will go on my sleeve. I have one of them done already. I just need to secure down all of the detail because right now it is all very loose and going to fall off. I have like this top part secured and everything else below still needs to be. Once that's done, I can attach this to my sleeves. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do the sleeves yet because they're going to be detachable. I have an idea in my head, I just don't know if it's going to work. Spencer is on his bachelor trip right now, and I really wanted to get like a lot done, and I have, just not sewing wise. I designed all of our signs. I printed some of them on the Cricut, but I have like our big welcome sign done. I just need to put it on the mirror. I started working on our programs. I just kind of need his input on some stuff, so I can't keep working on it. And we don't fully have our timeline finalized. We need to get invitations out this week, but that's another thing that I like need him to be here for. I think I'm gonna try to get a lot of the bridesmaid fabric ironed tonight before I go to bed, and then tomorrow I can cut it out and hopefully get some sewn together. I did really want to get like a lot of dresses done while he was gone. I just don't think that that is going to happen. The day kind of got away from me and I like totally forgot about everything. Like I've been working on stuff pretty much all day, but a lot of it was like house stuff. It'll be fine. I do actually have a deadline. I have to get everything done by my bachelorette trip so that they can try them on while we're there. I do really want to see how many I can get done tonight though. The like hardest part is getting everything cut out on the right like grain. I'm also like so worried I'm gonna run out of fabric because it's gonna take so long to get here. So I like need to get those pieces cut out because if I'm gonna run out, I need to know very, very soon so that I can get some and hope that it is the same color because it won't be from the same dye batch. My workspace is an absolute pigsty right now. There's just stuff everywhere. So I'm gonna need to clean stuff up a little bit before I can get started. Update before I go to bed here because now it is 12:30. This piece up in the shoulders doesn't line up. It doesn't line up right. And I think this panel of this mesh might be in backwards or they're in on the wrong side. I don't know. They just don't line up right. So I think they must be backwards. Which sucks because I just sewed these pieces together. So I think I'm going to take that out and then just see if I can fix it. If putting it the other way makes it better. I don't know. I'm going to take them out and then lay them with the pattern piece and then just see which way they're supposed to go. Okay, so I'm going to pull this apart and then we'll see what I can get up to tomorrow. So I finally have all 3 pieces assembled correctly. This piece and this piece, I had this panel in backwards and now I have it in the right way. So I'm going to sew these 2 together so that it's easier when I sew it to the lining. And then after I sew this together, I'm going to put it up on the mannequin and then figure out where the back piece should attach to it. This is where I'm at so far in putting it all together. I still need to sew the buttonholes and then put the buttons on, but I have that all marked out on the other side. And then I'm still working on detaching this lace from the bodice of my mom's dress. That's pretty much going to go almost in the exact same spot on mine. So if you can see, there's a little like tear here at the seam. It's going to want to rip out a little bit in this fabric. When I sew this on, I will fix that. I'm not sure what I should do about that, but I would rather catch it now than it be terrible later. I should be able to stop pulling on it a little bit more now that I have this back piece a little bit figured out. I do think that I'm going to take this beading off here very carefully. It will probably go back in, but I think this spacing is too close together for what I'm going to do for the rest of the dress, and I would rather be able to have the spacing even across the whole thing. If I start taking it off and there are big holes underneath here, then maybe I'll reconsider, but this side over here is already falling off a little bit. We're missing a couple and it just doesn't look the nicest. So I think that that is going to end up being the best. Also, because I want to do removable sleeves, I will need to bind off this edge here with just a little bit of this other fabric. So this will probably run along this edge so that I have something a little bit easier to attach this into. I do think that I will just be attaching these to make them removable with snaps. And this will also help hide those snaps in there. and then I don't have to worry about either this thin material ripping out or this mesh.